All right. Well, hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our BAM session. Good to have everyone piling through those digital doors. I'm actually eager to introduce you to a new friend of mine that I've made, Alex Boyd. He is in the brush clearing business. Many of you may not know much about brush clearing. I've learned about brush clearing over the last couple weeks. You know, it was interesting how I began to become familiar with Alex. I was pulling into our driveway. We have a 450-foot driveway to our house. We live out in the country. I was noting to my wife, I said, "Hey, you notice this tree line? What do you think our property would look like if we cleared out this tree line on the front of our property?" And uh, and then we were talking about putting some trails in our woods. We have a woods. We thought, well, that'd be kind of cool to have some four-wheeling trails back there. And then all of a sudden, over the next several days, I started getting advertisements, Facebook ads. And and just like somebody had been riding around in the car with us, you all know Mark Zuckerberg's riding around in the car with all of you, right? And he's listening to all your conversations. So let me show you just an example of one of the ads that popped up on my Facebook screen. Here, let me show you this ad. I just thought it was brilliant.
He's a fast worker too.
I'm Alex from Brushworks. We reclaim land every day. We took this one back 12 months ago, and we want to take yours back next. Contact us today at brushworksco.com.
Can you believe anyone could make brush work so cool? Like I didn't even know that was a thing. And it was such a great ad. I thought, I don't even know what it costs. I want to have these guys come out. I want to see those machines crunching up my trees like that. That just looked like such a cool experience. So I ended up contacting them. I filled out one of their forms, and they have a whole bunch of ads. But anyways, Alex here, you can see him in our group here. He showed up at my door and we were talking, and I knew he must be some kind of a marketing guy, not just a brush clearing guy. Really drew me in was that he is clearly a marketing guy. Somehow he found me through Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg and their little stuff that they do, and his ads were popping up on my Facebook. And then when he showed up to my house, he had a little pin on his lapel, and it looked sort of like a little microphone. And he mentioned, "Hey, by the way, if you don't mind, I'm going to record our conversation today. I've got a AI recorder, and it's going to help me, keep track of our conversation today." And I thought that's cool. That's I love that stuff. And so I started asking Alex. We spent probably 20 minutes before we even talked about trees, just talking about marketing, building a business, and all of that. So I thought it would be cool to have Alex talk to everyone a little bit about how they've gone about building their business in the brushworks world. So, Alex, if you don't mind, tell us your story a little bit about how you got into Brushworks work and how you got into what you're doing now. Um, Without any further ado, let's have a fine round of applause for Alex Boyd. Uh, and so, tell us your story, Alex. How did you get into Brushworks, and how did you begin building your business?
So I bought a house with 5 acres, and about three and a half of it was fully wooded. And the house is on the market for a while, and I think a lot of people see that and they see like this it has 5 acres, but really it's only two because what can I do with this other three, right? Um, so I set about looking into how to solve that problem. How do I open up this land and make it usable again? And I came across forestry mulching and brush clearing, forestry mulching, land clearing, and there just wasn't really anybody in Cincinnati doing it professionally. You had some people on Facebook Marketplace, but nobody was actually making a business out of this. And I knew just from driving around our area, like there's a lot of people who need this, right? Um, so I looked into how to start it, how to get equipment, and just started it from there, turned it into an actual business, not just some chuck in a truck kind of thing, and started clearing land, doing marketing. And my background is in marketing, my experience is in marketing. So just kind of blew it up overnight, just because there's so much demand, and because there was so few companies offering this, there was a lot of pent up demand as well.
Yeah.
So,
And so how long have you guys been going now?
so we are just over 2 years.
Okay. So
Yeah.
been going for about 2 years. One of the things there's a whole lot that we talked about. Some of today's conversation, we're going to talk about technology and how Alex uses technology to market his company and that kind of thing. But let me just say, um, as realtors, there we can very easily use companies like Alex, his company, to do land clearing. And there's actually people who buy land that's raw land, and they'll hire a company like Alex's company to come in, clear the land or at least clean it up, and then it's very sellable at that point. So
Right.
I want some of our agents. We have a lot of agents who work in the rural areas, which is beautiful. That's like God's clear green land. I love it. And so if you work in those areas, keep in mind that there are companies, especially if you're in Southwest Ohio. Alex, his company can work with you, but in all of our regions, this is actually a really cool way to improve land quickly. Uh, Hire a company like this to come out, clear the land, and some people flip land. So they'll buy it just like flipping a home, buy the land, clean it up, sell it because at that point it's usable. So, and then sometimes we have distressed properties, right? We have people wanting, the farmers have been living there for 50 years and the land is all overgrown. Well, his company can come in and clean it up and make it very sellable. So, or maybe you have clients that want to buy the land and they're not exactly sure about that process. Well, Alex, his company can come in and clean it up after they've bought the land and make it very usable. So keep that as a card up your sleeve, an extra tool that you have to offer your clients that there are services like this. And Alex is Southwest Ohio now. I have a feeling he's going to go national at some point and
So,
be able to cover all of our markets. But so that's the real estate piece as far as your clients and using that. But one example, just using that little pin. I just want Alex to talk a little bit about how they use technology to build their business, because I think there's a lot that we can use as agents that he's doing. Talk about that little plod pin. For some reason, that was one of the things that just really drew me in. I actually bought one. He has a little
yeah,
AI recorder, and I was it was funny because Alex and I also had lunch after that time, and I brought my Plod pen to the lunch and recorded our conversation, and then had notes and everything afterwards. So explain how that works with your business, Alex, how you've used that and amongst other things.
yeah. So quoting land clearing can be very complex, right? You've got some properties, they only want specific areas cleared, or we actually just did a quote for a golf course where every single hole, there was a certain section on every single hole that they wanted cleared. And for me to be able to take notes on that would and still engage with the client is almost impossible, right? So I'm gonna mess up somewhere. If I go back into the truck and spend 45 minutes trying to remember everything that they said, I'm gonna mess up. So I use what's called a plod pen. It's a little AI pen. It listens to the conversation. It's got two microphones on it, so it's very sensitive. And I have a prompt, an AI prompt that it'll take that entire conversation, transcribe the conversation, and run it through my prompt. So my prompt, for land clearing is like, I'm Alex, I'm quoting brush clearing. There's notes that I need to take for operators, and there's notes that I need to take for sales. So the operator notes would be, obstacles in the way, certain areas that we're clearing, all kinds of stuff. And then it runs that full conversation through that prompt and it takes exact and perfect notes. And so basically, for what would have taken me, like this golf course, for example, it would have taken me half a day to quote this property. Now I can do it in 30 minutes. So that allows me to handle a lot more volume of quotes, and the quotes are a lot more accurate. Um, so like how this could be, you could essentially utilize this for anything. If you're doing like an open house in real estate and you've got a lot of people coming in and talking in your ear. If you're recording that, you're capturing everything that's being said and then you're running it through your prompt. Like for us, there are things that I'm on the property, I'm talking to the customer, I'm focused on something else, I'm looking at the terrain, and they said something to me that I didn't hear, but was actually important, right? So like maybe there was a manhole cover, but my brain didn't pick it up, but the pen does. And so it allows us to not miss anything. So when the operators go in and they see the notes before they start this job, everything is exact and it's perfect and it's everything that was said. And then on top of that, if somebody wants to, if you quote a certain scope, but they want to expand upon the scope, there's no nuance on what was said. So if they said, "Well, we said that we were going to clear this, and you guys didn't," or vice versa. So nothing is ever missed, and you can always go back and reference everything that was said. You can even go back and say, like, say you're doing an open house and you've got all these conversations. You could say somebody had mentioned that they were moving from Loveland. What did they say? And you can go into that conversation, ask AI that question, and it'll tell you exactly what they said. So you don't ever forget anything. It's
Okay.
incredible.
Really, really helpful. And now a couple things to keep in mind. Technically, Ohio, I don't know about Kentucky, Indiana, and Florida. I know in Ohio is a one state, is a one, what do you call it?
One party consent.
One party consent state.
Yeah.
So uh, theoretically, you don't have to get permission to record those conversations as long as one person consents, which ironically, you are the person who consents if you're the one recording.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bizarre law, I'll be honest. However, just practically speaking, I think people would be a little bit weirded out if they found out we were recording them without us having told them. So I think practically speaking, it's best to say, just like Alex did the first time we met, hey, by the way, I'm recording this. Hope you don't mind. Let me know if it's not okay. But once they know, then you can it really can help you keep track of conversations. So I was thinking, like Alex said, if you're doing a listing presentation, you show up at the house and you're walking through the house and they're showing you around and oh, make sure you don't forget to mention the fountain in the backyard that's worth $10,000, kind of a big deal. So, whatever it might be, how people tell you things that they don't want you to forget. And then you get home and you're trying to remember, what was I supposed to remember? There's something really important. I forget what it was. Well, this will keep track of all that. And the record time is like, it's insane. Isn't it like 18 hours
It's
of
like 27 hours straight or something.
27?
Yeah.
So I mean, you can spend hours and hours with people, or you're at an open house and you're there for hours and hours, and it will capture everything. It can tell when there's different speakers in the conversation, and it will, it's very helpful in pulling together and organizing the thoughts. So I've used it already and it really does. It summarizes the conversation. It'll give action points. Like according to this, like when Alex and I met, is like, okay, here's Chris's to-dos. He's supposed to do this, 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 and this. And Alex said he would do this and this. So it delineates all that, and it's really brilliant. I see that Deanna said the comment there was what a great gift for a college student to help in the aid of remembering everything the professor said during a lecture. And it's really true. And it wasn't a college lecture, but I literally took it to church with me recently. It recorded the sermon and gave me unbelievable notes of the sermon, brilliantly laid out right there in an outline form, action steps, and then you can play with it. You can use that with Chat GPT and say, hey, give me some other things I can use this information. What's a plan I can do with this information? So it's really a great tool, and that's just one of the things that uh, you guys have been using that I thought would really easily transfer over to real estate. Now, one of the things I noticed, Alex, was that you guys have really blown up YouTube. By the way, this is the Plod pin. You don't have to wear it like a necklace. You can pin it on you, but that's an example of that's what that looks like. But anyway, back to YouTube. Alex's company, they started getting into doing video, as you saw by that first one. But if you look, they've got 100 videos here, 3,000 four 3.47 thousand subscribers, but the views, like here's a video, they have 69,000 views, 14,000 views, 12,000 views. How would you like to be getting that many views for your real estate business? The thing about that, he's getting that many views on brush work, on land clearing. What percentage of the population do you think are in the market for land clearing? Well, I don't know. I don't know, Alex, if you probably know the number. I'm guessing it's 1 in 1,000 or less. Uh,
Yeah, probably around there.
yeah. So, but how many people are in the market for homes? You know, it's a very high percentage. If Alex is getting 60, 70,000 views for Brushworks, which his videos are extremely well done, and it's very smart the way he's doing. He's educating people on the concept of brush work, and that it even drew me in. I didn't even know I was interested in land clearing until I saw his YouTube channel. I was like, man, this is really great. Subscribe, start watching it. Uh, but how many people are interested in real estate? And if you're not doing a YouTube channel and you're not really trying to learn the craft of video, and it really is a craft. It's not just, using your iPhone and doing a quick video. It's really learning it as a craft. And as we talk at Plum Tree about, the more you learn, the more you earn. And you have to learn more to earn more. And that's a part of the process. But learning isn't always just reading books. And it's not always just listening to podcasts. Learning, a lot of times, is learning a skill of how can I do video better? How can I really dominate in video? And so Alex's company is doing great with video. I would really encourage our agents to be out there learning the craft of video, not just slapping stuff together, but really learning it as a skill. And for me, I don't know how you learned it, Alex, but I've spent a lot of time watching YouTube videos on how to make YouTube videos,
Yeah.
watching videos on how to create videos. And
Yeah.
it's ironic, but so Saturday mornings is often my time when I don't have a lot of appointments on Saturdays. I know some of you do. Maybe it's a Monday morning would be your time or Tuesday, but that's kind of my video time where I'll start digging into watching videos about learning some technical skill that I haven't had before. But tell me your journey. How did you like? You're not just slapping videos together, Alex. How did you know to start getting into video? How did you know how to do all that creation of videos? and what
Yeah.
types of videos to do. How did you learn that?
So the YouTube channel was built as an education tool. It wasn't ever really necessarily built for view counts and getting lots of views and subscribers. So our ad essentially serves to the customer. The customer then sees our Facebook page or whatever, and then they dig into the company. They want to learn about it, or they just want to learn about what brush clearing is. And so the YouTube channel is essentially there to support the lead funnel. Um, and so I learned videos pretty much the same way you did, just watching videos on YouTube. But I just kind of fell in love with it. It became a hobby, and I started building out the channel. And video today is extremely important. People expect to be able to engage with you more than they ever have. Like a phone call anymore is just not sufficient. And there's so many people out there that are putting out video content that if they're going to go to a brush clearing company, they're going to see a brush clearing company that does have tons of content and videos and they can see the company working versus one that doesn't, they're going to go with the ones that they see first, right? The ones that they can engage with. And the video content allows us to essentially create a connection with the customer before they ever even talk to us. And it kind of sells them before they even call us as well. So a lot of times, especially with our YouTube content, people that see our YouTube channel and watch everything, they're already sold before I even show up because they've seen everything that we can do. They've seen us on job sites, they've seen the before and afters, they've seen the time lapses. So like video content anymore is necessary. And I look at it maybe a little bit different way. Like the craft is fun and it's a part of it. And I like to do well with it because of it's a hobby. But I think at the end of the day, it's you've got to put out something. You've got to put out it doesn't it's always going to start out bad, right? But you've got to put out something to get better anyways. And people need to be able to see you and engage with you and understand who you are. The expectations are just so much higher now.
Yeah. For me, video is like your first job application for the job of being a realtor. When when you need to have some type of asset, a video asset that you can text or email to a potential client to let them know the vibe of your business. And it's basically, hey, I'm applying for a job. You don't have to say that, but I'm applying for the job to be your realtor. Here's what I have to offer. So you at least have to need to have something like that, sort of like that first video that I showed of Alex's company. But then the rest of his videos, or a lot of them, are content where he's just explaining different ways to engage with brush clearing and different ways that they do it. So it's all educational. I've said this a lot of times, and if I wasn't busy being a broker, I would do it myself because it's such a golden opportunity. But every one of our agents should be doing top 10 video lists of the top 10 reasons to move to your town, top 10 reasons to move to Cincinnati, top 10 reasons to move to Dayton, top 10 reasons to move to Mason. And find the closest 20 markets near you. There are 20 towns within an hour of you. So do top 10 lists for all of them. And they could be a 3-minute video, 4-minute video. Make it very quick. And sort of like his first video you saw is just boom, 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 boom. And just um, and then that's just an example of top 10 reasons to move. You might do 5 reasons to move to our area and 2 reasons you might not want to move here. That's also thought provoking because people are like, oh, okay, this is going to be a balanced video. They're going to tell me reasons I shouldn't move here. And now, one thing I would encourage you, and this is just my personal opinion. Everyone has their own opinions. This is just my opinion. I would stay focused in your video content of helping people learn something about real estate. And I see some people get distracted and they'll start doing videos on other topics like the Cincinnati Reds or the Bengals, and that's okay, but maybe not for realtors. I would really stay crystal clear focused. Every video is going to talk something about real estate here. And if you're going to do the top 10 restaurants video, what I would do is I would say, hey, check out this listing and look at these 3 restaurants that are within walking distance of this listing or something like that. There's I follow a channel, a guy over in Italy actually, and he wanted his YouTube channel to be about real estate and food because people seem to, and it's also similar to like a travel vlog. People are interested in homes. You know, we've got several channels on TV dedicated to people looking at homes. People are interested in homes and they're interested in food. And so, if you can tie those concepts together, you can actually you could actually have a very interesting channel. This guy in Italy, he's got, hundreds of thousands of subscribers to his channel. If you want to be the guru in your town and you start pulling some of these things together, it would be dynamite. And and you crawl, walk, run. That's kind of the process. So your first videos are going to be crawling. You're doing your best, but just do your best and keep learning. Learn from each one. Next one, you're going to be walking, and then eventually you're going to be running. So get out there and start doing some stuff. But if you look at Alex's channel, man, they are killing it. Lots of attention there. So what are some of the other things, Alex? Actually, let's talk about your workflow. We could talk about workflow for video, but we could also, do I recall correctly, you're using some type of AI to help promote some of your videos or to get your content out to different
Yeah, so
people?
pretty much this whole company was built on AI. It's just streamlined everything that we do. And so as far as, we also have other social profiles, and I would say probably our X profile is by far gets us the most traction. We had almost 1 million impressions last month alone. Um,
Wow.
and that's just, and what I'm essentially doing is utilizing AI to talk about interesting things about developing a business and brush clearing. And and then I'm using that to post on X, which then gets a lot of traction. So some of these, posts will get 100,000 plus views. Um, and I just essentially just utilizing it to make interesting content. And you were talking about like the top 10 videos for real estate and doing that kind of stuff. That's essentially kind of what we're doing with our content, except that where I'm looking into like things that people are going to find interesting. So, like for real estate, I would probably look at what are the top posts on Reddit or X or Facebook that have the most engagement for real estate, and then kind of talk about in a video that particular post because you already know that that is an interesting angle and an interesting approach. So if you make a video about it, you're going to get a lot of views and a lot of interest. And I think that like, for us, it's building our brand up, our company brand, and I think for real estate, it's more building a personal brand. But it's kind of funny. It's almost been the same thing for like building this brand has also helped build a personal brand for me through our X profile. But as far as our workflow goes, so do you mean like from quote to complete a job or
Actually, from talk about your pipeline, but basically
lead funnel?
funnel, that's the word.
Yeah,
Lead
yeah.
funnel.
Yeah, so the lead funnel essentially works with our Facebook ad. So we run the meta ad. Now our YouTube content, we get a lot of people from YouTube as well. We get a lot of people from other social media. But the other social media we're not spending money into. It's more of like an awareness thing. But Meta is we run the ad, they fill out our lead form. On that ad, we have our YouTube channel and we have our website. So our lead funnel is supported by all of our other content. and our other content educates the customers. So then they fill out our lead form, they get an automatic reply, hey, when's the best time for us to schedule a walkthrough with you? Now we actually have an instant quote form on the website, which we're the only ones in the country, probably the world, who have an instant quote form for this. But we've done enough jobs now, we figured it out. So, and then that schedules like a follow-up with them. If they don't respond, it'll automatically send them another message. And all of this is handled with AI as well. So like the messages that go out are tailored to what they were looking for. So if they were looking for trail cutting, for example, I'll say, hey, I saw you wanted to come out and cut that trail. When's a good time for us to come check it out? They book the estimate. We use the plod pen to record and listen to the entire estimate to automatically generate the estimate. I could essentially just use that pin, what's on that pin, and just send the estimate without breaking eye contact with them. But I don't. We still have the human element in there. We review it, but then that goes into the job bookings, and there's an estimate follow-up system as well, though. So like if they didn't respond to it, it'll ask them, and this is an expensive service, so I don't like send it every few days. It'll do like the day after 4 or 5 days, and then it's like 2 weeks later, it'll follow up again. They
What
book the
kind of
job.
software? What kind of software drives that?
So we use House Call Pro, and a lot of this is built into their pipeline, but then we also run N8N and Make.com automations. So that's a whole nother beast that we could get into, but essentially it utilizes AI to determine what they're looking for, the value of the customer, like if they're worth following up with, or yeah, that's a whole nother animal. But um
So that we have software for our agents, and just to make
yeah.
sure our agents are aware of that, because we have a lot of agents who don't seem to be aware that we have some of the best AI software in the country for agents, Bold Trail. And so Marcy did a training last week on that. So make sure you look at the recording of that if you are just now becoming aware that we have software for our industry that's very similar. So.
Yeah, I watched that video, by the way.
Cool.
But yeah, so then they approve the estimate, and then it goes through a similar thing with the job. We have automation set up to where it sends them out an email a week before. It sends them out one that's a day before, just to let them know how to prepare their property, safety guidelines. I also have a video attached to that one, so it kind of walks them through what to expect. We go out, do the work, and then there's a follow-up. So it'll send them please leave us a review message. It'll send, we also have an automated Christmas card that'll be going out. So everybody who was a customer will get a Christmas card. Um, the entire system is like completely streamlined to where I just pretty much show up, give the estimate, and then the system automates it all the way through to the end. And then then we've got the guys doing the work, but there's a lot of customer touch points and stuff with that.
Yeah, that's fabulous. And so I would encourage our agents to think like that as far as building a business, automating as much as you can, use our software that we've provided for that. I see a couple questions. Deanna has a question about the type of software you use in editing your videos. And before you answer that, Brian, I see you mentioned that you use StreamYard as your platform for YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Brian, if you're up for that after Alex answers this question, I'd like to hear how you're using StreamYard, how that works for you. But what software, Alex, are you using for video and that kind of thing?
So for video editing, I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro. Um, Probably if I didn't know anything about video editing, I probably wouldn't use Premiere Pro, but it's kind of like a higher skill platform. But you could use like InShot on your cell phone even to do simple edits. And I even do that for some of our shorts. I'll just use InShot where I can just quickly edit on my phone and post something.
Is that in like IN shot?
InShot. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a mobile app. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I've not used that one, but I'll look into that. Brian, what do you know about StreamYard? Was it StreamYard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
StreamYard. Yeah. So I've been using that for probably about a year and a half, and you can do two things with it. You can actually do YouTube Live or Facebook Live with it. I don't like to do that because I make a lot of mistakes while I'm talking. So I opt to record it and then I can push it out as a Facebook Live video. I can set a date and time for it. I can do the same thing also for YouTube. It does Instagram shorts, the reels, which probably get the most attention. Um, I can push it out to LinkedIn as well. It's really unlimited at the end of the day, depending on what package you go with. On the back end with YouTube, I can't remember. It's vidIQ, maybe VIDIQ. On the back end, I have that tied into my YouTube channel, so I can analyze my keywords, and that actually will help me create thumbnails, stuff like that. So, admittedly, though, since I made the switch over to Plum Tree, I've just been busy and I have not really done a good job with my videos. But I can tell you, um, you know, when I started to pick it up a little bit, I mean, my subscriber level was low, but I really wasn't too concerned about it because I was getting calls
Yeah.
from people seeing the videos. So,
That's really the key to it, and I appreciate you bringing that up, Brian. What I've found is if I can get 10 people to watch a video, I can often get a sale from that. So that turns that video into, a $5,000 or $10,000 video. Like, gosh, I made one video, got 10 views, and made $5,000. Well, I don't care how many views I got if I can make $5,000. So, and then you can scale that up. It's like, well, what if I make two videos? What if I make three? What if I make 10? And so it really is it's not about the views as much as it is about just getting that content out there. Alex mentioned that as well. Their main objective at the beginning wasn't necessarily a big get those YouTube awards, millions of views, but it's to get enough views that you're actually you know, building your business. So I like that. Marcy asked, do you happen to have any metrics on the increase of business since using Plod? So is that anything you're able to measure?
So the plot pen is more for a lot of that's internal. So like we're getting the sales notes, helping us prepare the estimate, and getting all the operator notes, stuff that they need to know when they're out there on the job site. But as far as the number of quotes that I can do in a day doubles because
Mhm.
it takes me half the amount of time, sometimes even less than that, to do a quote. So if I was able to do 5 quotes a day before, now I'm able to do 10. So productivity has gone through the roof. So now I can, and then with our ads, especially in the spring, we'll definitely have 10 quotes a day. So now I don't
Wow.
have to hire somebody else to do it.
Deanna asked, how accurate do you find the Plod Pen recordings to be, and what kind of storage do you use for that content, for that information?
So Plot has their own storage, and as far as like they have their own server, you can also export it to a Google Drive. As far as accuracy, it is way more accurate than I could be. So if I was taking the notes myself, I would have missed 80% of what was said and what needed to be on there. So it's only using what was said in the conversation between myself and the customer. So that's the only information it has to go off of. So that makes it pretty much 100% accurate.
I have one quick question. You mentioned a couple of things. How much you are using your videos to optimize your presence in the world, particularly internet world. So what kind of the software or what kind of the things you are using your presence to optimize into the world, particular SEO.
Yeah.
And
So
Mhm. Yeah,
like
but
So
publishing the content and getting it out in front of people, like what tools we're using.
mhm.
So
Particularly SEO perspective, not to that, because of the second question is could be that one. Okay, you also mentioned that when you have the last month, that's 1 million plus images or the uh, heat or any other things is in the indexing into the internet, means you are doing something different than the rest of the people, those who got that one in a short period of time, that much impression into the world. So that's why I'm a little bit curious about it.
yeah.
What part it is important to have the content or the video you are posting, or it is both together as in a funnel.
So as far as like SEO with videos, YouTube will take the entire transcript of your video and put that into searchable content. So if I'm staying relevant on the topics of brush clearing in our videos and I'm talking a lot about it, um, Google indexes all of that. So now if you ask a brush clearing question on like Gemini AI or any AI platform, because everything that we've said in the video is indexed, it'll actually serve up the result for us. Like I was actually looking up information on ChatGPT about the Bobcat T86, and it used my own source as the video of something that I said. And then as far as pushing the content out there, so and making sure that it's relevant, we have a N8N automation that uses a software called Blotato, and that well, I'll put out a prompt. It'll automatically grab a topic on brush clearing, and this is all completely automated, by the way. So I've just got a spreadsheet where I just filled in all the ideas for a post. It pulls that topic and idea out into an automation. It sends that into ChatGPT or whatever LLM you want to use, and then it'll form a post for that, and it'll alter that post specifically for X or LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, and then it'll grab one of our pictures from our Google Drive because we have hundreds of them, and then it'll post simultaneously on all platforms. So I can put my video shorts in there, my images in there, and then it'll create tailored content for that platform. And then the more content that you're pushing out, the more you're going to get seen by search engines.
Yeah. Another question is, what is the percentage of your emails, 1 million emails? What is the percentages of the YouTube shorts or the wherever you are promoting your shorts versus the full video? What is the percent? Do you have that relevance in your profile or anything?
So like short views versus long form content views. It's our shorts get a decent amount of traction, but that's just the nature of shorts. But our long form videos have a decent amount. I couldn't tell you an exact number because, like, I don't really look at YouTube as a means of getting views or subscribers. It's built to educate the people that are in the lead funnel. So, like, I don't really pay attention a lot to our metrics.
Oh, okay.
And John, you want to ask your question? Feel free to jump in there, Mr. Coleman, if you are.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
We can hear you.
All right, perfect. I ought to make every dollar count because I don't have a lot of money to spend on real estate, let alone advertising. So what's the most cost efficient way of running ads and distributing content? I've tried Facebook, and Facebook appears to have done nothing for me. But I'm also not spending a lot of money on Facebook, so maybe that's part of my problem. But what's the most cost efficient way to get stuff out there into the abyss?
For real estate is a very competitive market. So if you're spending money on Meta, it's going to get pretty expensive because there's a lot of people doing it. The most cost effective is to use automations and AI automations. So I was actually telling Chris about this. So if I was a realtor and I wanted to get leads in for as cheap as possible. Now, this is going to be more technical and probably something most of you won't be able to do easily, but you can set up an AI bot to listen to Facebook groups, X posts, Instagram, and it listens for people saying, "Hey, I'm thinking about moving into the Mason area," or "I'm thinking about selling my house." And then you can have AI pluck those out and then automatically send a message to them on your behalf. Say, hey, I'm a realtor with Plum Tree. I see that you're thinking about moving into Mainville area. If you have any interest in having me help you out with that, let me know. You don't even see it. They respond. AI tells you if they're genuinely interested or not interested. It'll automatically take that lead, put it into your system. You could essentially get unlimited leads for about $50 a month doing this. But that's very complex. Your other cheap way, the easier way, would be with automations for social media. So automations for social media, it's about $10 a month, and just putting out tons and tons of content, um, photo content, video content, all of that stuff has reach over time, and people will reach out to you. So like that's versus just buying leads directly or paying for ads directly. Content is the cheapest, but it takes more work. You have to put out good content.
All right. What's the $10 and the $50 option? I do IT for a living, so I'm not afraid of complicated. So
Okay,
so
yeah.
what you brought up a $10 and a $50 option. What are these things?
So that's just
Specifically.
the credit cost of your tokens on AI, essentially. Well, the $10 a month is like your N8N. It might be 15 now. I don't really know. It's somewhere around there, and that's to set up your automations. There's people on YouTube that show you exactly how to set up these kind of automations. Um, the $50 a month is more so you still have the automation, but you also have to pay for credits on your AI.
Whatever AI, do you have a recommendation on one specific one, or?
I like ChatGPT, but there's so many out there. I think that there's other ones getting a lot better.
And by the way, the one automation software that he mentioned is N8N. And that's a weird name for software, but if you like Alex introduced me to it, if you want to go down a rabbit hole, feel free to start researching N8N on YouTube. And it's an automation type software. What's the other one, Alex? There's another one that's closely similar to that. What's the name of that one?
Make.com.
Make.com. So that's another way where you can set up automations like Alex is describing. But it does there's a learning curve. So for computer nerds like you, John, you'd probably do pretty well with it. Speaking of computer nerd, I see we do have some questions like Glenda mentioned, what's the investment cost for a person to use these AI tools? I think we covered that, but do you really need to be tech savvy? This type of approach works great for people who are tech savvy, and that's the point of today's training. That doesn't mean that people who are not tech savvy are out, out of the game. And what I would recommend for those of you who are not tech savvy is to just keep building relationships. And ultimately, all of our business is going to come through relationships. I personally see Facebook as like the world's greatest uh, database for my business. And I've got over 5,000 connections on Facebook. 3% of the population tends to be in the market for whatever the thing is that you buy or sell. That means I know about 150 people today who are looking to buy or sell a house. And I know what kind of dog they have, and I know where they went on vacation last week because Facebook just tells us all that. So you can keep building the relationships with these people. And I would say, build your contacts, keep, these automations are great for a certain type of person who is minded towards technology. And if you're more of a hands-on people person, just keep building those relationships, and you can have success on all of those paths. You just have to pick what makes sense. Figure out the way that you're wired, and then fan that flame of what makes you burn with excitement. So we will be posting these in our Facebook group, this video. Feel free to continue the conversation in our group. Alex, if people wanted to somehow get in touch with you for your business, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
So you can go to brushworksco.com, or our YouTube channel is at brushworksco.
Okay. Okay, so go to their website and get in his funnel. They will find you and they will do whatever work that you need. So thank you for your time today, buddy. Appreciate you joining us. A lot of great information. Thanks for everyone who participated, and go out this week. Have a fabulous week. Go out and sell a house or two. Have a fabulous week.